Hi, I'm Clara. I'm the founder of Graze Market. So we've started this about a year ago, and I'm from PJ, so that's why the shop is in PJ. My background is that I used to work in NGO for about 7 years before starting this company. And I studied finance, accounting and management. So it's a bit of business which related to what we're doing, yes.
Hi everyone, Shirley here. I'm the co-founder of Graze Market. I'm from Pahang, Bentong, where it's famous for ginger. And we used to be ex-colleagues in Johnson & Johnson. This is how we met each other. After that, I go into real estate. So we started this business 1 year ago.
After coming out of the NGO and working with another company for about a year, that's when I kind of decided to step up to start this social enterprise, I would call it. So one of the days when I was still in the beginning stage of trying to set up the company itself, I called Shirley up for a drink at a mama, and then I was just bouncing the ideas with her because I was trying to look for a location, and she was trying to help me source for one. And at the same time, she was like, hey, I think I'm interested in this.
Yeah, because we were talking about, she's asking for opinion, like where to find a place at PJ, like small one and affordable because just start up. And then I try to help her to find some locations, but after I'm like, I think I have time because my current job back then was quite flexible, and this idea is really new and it's something like really meaningful. Maybe I can actually help you. We rented this place like 1 month after we met at that lunch. Is like really quick, the kickstart.
So at that point, it really works out for myself as well because as a startup company, you can't really afford to pay someone, and you can't really expect someone to work for free. So it was great that she could come in like a side hustle while she see what else she can use the time with lah. Okay, so from my end, we couldn't really look for a full-timer, but I needed a partner. Because I know it's very hard to start something on your own. It's always good to have someone to like bounce ideas with and strategize. So when Shirley said she wanted to get involved, I was like, okay, come and try it out. Because when it comes to partnership, it's really something very important. I think it's a really core thing that you have to think about when you start a business, because your partner can either break you or make you, right? And a lot of business actually fall out after a few years because of partnership actually. So when we decided to come on board, we were both still very unsure of how is this going to work out. For me, it's also very new. It's something I've not done before. And for Shirley also, she's also new to this whole business, especially when it comes to food and handling vegetables, even for myself. So we said, okay, why don't we come in very informally? So I started a company on my own, and then we just worked together for about a year, coming in as and when we can to support. And recently, just after our 1 year birthday, that's when we decided to, and I think she was more comfortable, decided to really come on board as a partner and a shareholder in the company.
I'm actually thinking this is a very great opportunity for me to learn something new. And then because knowing her for so many years, I know she's really willing to teach you. And then since I have time, why not just to do something to help her also, and also to help myself in getting a
new experience.
Yes.
So Graze Market is a surplus food market. We started this with the aim to bridge the gap between food waste and hunger. So we know that there's a gap. There's so much food being wasted in one corner, and another corner, a lot of people are going hungry. So what then can we do to bring this together? We also decided to start it off as a company, like a business, rather than a charity or an NGO, because we believe that it has to be sustainable. There are many other NGOs out there who are already doing soup kitchens and donation drives, which we feel that we are not going down that road. But we want to choose a different part of the society who are still willing to pay, but they might, just for the reason of wanting to reduce food waste, or maybe they really just want to spend less in terms of their expenses. So we are trying to target that group. So when we started this, we are actually focusing on fresh produce like vegetables and fruits because they are perishable. So there are actually a lot that goes to waste, especially in the supermarket. And also upstream where the farmers themselves, they waste a lot. We feel that that is something we want to target and focus on. But right now we're also looking a lot into two things. One is the products itself, like your near to expiry food. And also we are looking into repurposing our fresh produce. So whatever that we feel that we cannot sell in time, we want to cook it up. And hence that's why we convert our shop to also have a mini kitchen that we can cook up the food as meals or also as products. So people can come in and buy lunch. Yeah. And maybe later on we are actually exploring like delivery, food delivery. Okay, so what inspired me is because, as I mentioned, I work with low-income communities for a very long time. So I've really seen how little they have to eat, and they really struggle to put food on their table. Sometimes they can just afford like an egg for the whole family. Sometimes they just, even for babies, they can't afford milk, they give tea, like for them to drink tea. So I know like the hardship they're going through. And on the other hand, I also saw a lot of waste. With our partner, we see how much vegetables that are being sent to the supermarkets are rejected upfront just because they do not look good. So it can be for small reasons such as, the color is not right, the length or the shape is not right, or a little bit of bruise, or it just looks ugly and unacceptable. So when I saw it, I was like in shock because it's in baskets and this is just one supplier. Imagine how many suppliers a supermarket has, and part of it goes to waste. So my heart really ached when I saw that, and I felt that okay, there's something that needs to be done here. Yeah, so that's where I got inspired, and I was reading up even through what other countries are doing. I was inspired in a company in Australia that actually do similar cause vision, and they donate them out. Actually, they have a shop, but they actually allow people to come in, get what they want, and do on a donation basis. Yeah, so that's one. And then other countries like in UK, in America, France, this is very common, like people trying to reduce food waste.
Actually, initial idea is just to help out the business and to learn something. But when I come in, I see what we need to do, what people, what's the reason people come in to buy our fresh produce. I think for the first week that we started to clean all the ugly veggie, I'm like, wow. Some are really, really good. You don't really need to clean that much. It's only like the shape is different, the lady finger is like too long or too short. You can actually just sell it and then just cook it, just eat it. So, okay, this is really like eye-opener to me. And 1 year down the road, right now, I know more, so I can actually share the idea to my friends, my families. So trying to influence other people to also go into this idea. Like yesterday, I went for dinner, then we were talking about this cheese that we brought in. Then I'm like, this cheese is still good, and then the expiry date is like November, it's still like 2 months to go, but we are selling like 1 kg, like 30 ringgit is so affordable, because normally outside like one block, like 250 gram, you have to pay like 18 or 19 bucks for this. And then this is really good cheese, and then it's just because we have like surplus, it's not really that it's not good, So then I was like, okay, I need to get 2 blocks from you, this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we just got a supplier yesterday that came in to share with us that they have spaghetti that because the drying process wasn't done properly, so part of the spaghetti in the packet just didn't look right. And because of that, they cannot sell the entire batch. So they are trying to seek out for help as well to see if we can help them to move this out. If you see the amount of waste that goes into the landfill, it's really, you feel very, very heartache. So right now, in terms of acquiring food, we go upstream where we work with the farmers. So we work with our partners first to get access to the farmers. We even went to the farm to go and see like what are the vegetables that are being thrown away and the reasons they are rejected. And from there, we built that relationship. So on a weekly basis or every other day, we will actually ask them what are the waste that you have or what has to be sold quickly. They will text us back and we will order from there. So that's one where we go directly to the farmers. Most of the times they do have because they have their own gradings like grade A, grade B, grade C. So we're actually targeting grade B vegetables, meaning they're just the shape that's just a bit odd. So they have that grading already and we ask them upfront, please keep them for us. So we choose to buy from them. It's not given for free. So we buy at a lower rate, bring it back to our warehouse and we will clean it up, bundle it, and we will resell it. So that's one where we work with farmers, and then we also work with distributors and suppliers, where because they also keep a lot of stock to be sent out to their own customers, at a certain point of the supply chain, they will have to give up some of it because they are already either not too good of a quality to be sent into supermarkets, so they will pass it down to us, and again we will clean it up and then bundle it and resell it. Right now from supermarkets, we have not gone in. We are choosing that as a later part of our strategy to meet supermarkets as well. But right now we're just working with farmers and distributors.
I think what mine is doing outside is we call it cleaning. When veggie comes to us, some part are like yellowish already, the leaves and all, then you have to actually throw it away, because when people see it like that, then I'm like, oh, the whole thing is like not nice, I don't want to buy. But by cleaning it, like some are wet already, so we just throw away the not so good part, and then we weigh it again, and then we bundle it, in the way that we want. So and then we sell it. So this we call it cleaning. And then some like pumpkin or butternut squash, some part are really like bruises already, that maybe sometimes, or cauliflower, we will just remove the parts that is not nice, and then we pack it again. So this is what we call cleaning.
So it's a good question in terms of how fast we can get our vegetables out to our customers. Usually we get it out within a day or two. That's what we aim to do. Some vegetables, they are hardier, they can last longer, like at least 3 days, 4 days. Some can even last up to a week. So that's great. But for vegetables that cannot last, sometimes we also don't even know, because when it arrives to us, it's still nice and green, but by the next day it starts to turn yellow. So we are also learning, we are still learning in this 1 year, that we've been handling vegetables.
Storage.
Yeah, every day we are learning something new. How do we store?
Yeah.
How long can it last? And even how do we test the quality consistently? And we do get feedbacks from our customers off and on, and telling us that, hey, this is not good anymore, or it came like that. So if it's actually supposed to be like that, we will explain again our mission. It's just wilted. But if you spray water or if you soak it back in water, it will become nice again. We even have a video on our Instagram that showed very, very dry and wilted vegetable. If you put it in water, I think within 30 minutes it will become nice like it was when it was plucked. So we try and educate our clients. But for items that we ourselves couldn't tell that it was going bad, we will apologize and we will actually do a refund, or we will return, replace the veggie with newer ones. Yeah. So we are learning, really learning, and Shirley herself handles a lot of the queries from our customers.
This is really a very tough learning curve, because some of the aunties who really used to go market and buy, like, look at those nice veggie, I tell you, they will be like, why your veggie like that? Why your veggie like this? And I'm like, because this is rescue veggie, it's not like the grade A veggie. So some people they understand, but some people really don't understand. It's just like one-time client, but we appreciate their support as well. And like to other people, that I think there is a really best surprise to them as well, because sometimes you just give like random veggie, that we also receive random veggie from the suppliers. Then they will like, how you cook this, how you cook that. It's really like very interactive, the customer feedback. So we receive quite a good feedback. Normally people will continue after we explain to them on our business mission.
But for vegetables that really we feel we cannot sell, but actually it's still good to be eaten, we will choose to just give it out for free. Yeah, so for whoever who comes by our shop, we will say, okay, this is free, do you want it? And if they choose to take it, then they would not complain. That's also why we choose to have a physical shop as well, because people can come and have a look at the vegetables. Off and on we do get questions like Shirley say, oh no, why your veggie like that?
And sometimes because those aunties, they do not know how to handle the veggie as well, because like there was one time that we have jackfruit, and then the jackfruit is like really freshly open, we just open in front of her eyes, and then but she took back, she's like, I try your nangka in your shop, it's like so sweet, but I go back in the evening, it's all spoiled already, it's sour. Then we found that she didn't handle it properly, she wash it and then she keep it aside. Sometimes when client feedback to us, we will like try to see what's went wrong. Then this is a learning curve for them and also for us as well, because we all like still experimenting along the way.
Okay, so in terms of ordering a vegetable bag, our customers can choose between random or customized bag. Ideally, we hope that the customers choose random, because that is much easier on our end. Because really we would not know what we have until the day before or the day itself. And when it's random, it helps us in terms of really pushing out the veggies that need to go and vegetables that we have in bulk. But we also got feedback from our customers, because not everyone knows how to eat the vegetables we give. And our customers range from locals to foreigners, so they may not be used to Chinese vegetables or some may not be used to Western vegetables. So they said that I don't want to waste your vegetable, I want to support your cause, but I myself don't want to waste it if I cannot cook what you given to me. So we said, okay, we will do a customized bag, but we can only tell you what we have the day before. And we cannot overpromise you that what you want is what you will get, because it may not end up with us on the day itself. So customized bag, I feel it's a little more effort on our side, but we still choose to do it so that we can help our customers to support us as well in fighting food waste. I think in the beginning when we had new customers in our shop, they do ask like, is it still nice? Like when we get sweet potato, they'll be like, so small. Or the turnip is so small. Like, is it old? Is it, they'll ask us these kind of questions. Honestly, we have to try it ourselves as well to know whether it was good. But after getting a lot of feedbacks from our other customers, they say, hey, actually your small sweet potato is really sweet. And they keep on coming back, and we sold like baskets of it. Just because it's small, it gets rejected. But then it became like a hit in our shop as well. So they say, oh, I really like it because it's small enough for my baby. Yeah. So, different people have different needs. So we realized that we cannot cater to all, but we do try and address any questions that they have. Is it old? Is it still nice? Is it still fresh? And we will give them the assurance that it is.
Actually, like me, I don't even cook. You asked me what's the veggie. The first time I had the long bean and French bean, I sent I think French bean to the guy. He is asking for long bean. I'm like, I thought it's the same. It's actually a very fun experience. Sometimes we Google it, and then sometimes we talk to the aunties and uncles that really know more than us. So we actually also ask our suppliers. This is a really learning curve. Some veggies sent to us, we don't even know the name, seriously. And then auntie walking, oh, this is oh, really? And then we Google and check. And then also there's one time that this auntie sent us a lot of herbs that really is very strange name and all. And then we Google, we put it there, and then I was like, what is the health benefit and all. And then we also educate other clients.
You really have to experience it yourself, unless you are a good cook or someone who have
I'm terrible. Long
or someone who have worked in supermarkets before. But for us, we really just learn on the job. Sometimes we do push out items that maybe the customers feel is not good. But actually for us, it's like, no, just cut it off. So just cut it, it's okay, just cut and eat. But people like to get the best they can if they're paying, right? So nowadays, we do a lot of education. We tell them in advance, it's like that. So sometimes I feel very apologetic. It's like, okay, it's like that, it's very dry. Are you okay? I say, yeah, okay. Then, then we know that they understand our mission.
For clients who walk in, right, they see already, then we let them know already this is the, it's very dry and all. If they can accept it, that they won't come back and complain about the veggie they bought. For the random bag or the customized bag that we deliver to the client, sometimes we will receive some feedback that, why is it like that? Why is it like this? So we will try to have a better quality veggie for those who send for delivery, because also outside, the logistic arrangement and all.
When we started Graze Market, of course it was like a buzz because people have not heard of this, and we are trying to do our best to ensure that the prices of our vegetables are still very low, so that it really is about saving the environment. But at the same time, I think we also have to balance between the actual cost of acquiring the vegetables and also the steps that it has to go through, which is a lot of manual labor work which we have to hire. So it does push up the vegetable price a bit. So we need to find that balance between selling cheap vegetables and also being able to sustain our business. So in terms of having our customers' response, if it's really cheap and all, they'll be like, of course, very happy. If it's higher price, but then we explain to them, no, the market price right now, it is very high for this particular vegetable, but you're still getting it at a discount. Yeah. So I would say that right now, we are slowly pushing a lot more on social media as well. Now, after a year, we feel a bit more comfortable. We know what we are doing. And that's when we're slowly pushing out with our website, our social media, trying to do a bit more educational work online. And in general, I think the response that we get is really good, very supportive. And people are saying that, I've always wanted something like this in Malaysia, and now they are glad that it's here. but maybe we need to expand more because they can't access to us because we're only in just one location right now. We do deliveries, but then again, they're far from our reach. So we hear what the people are saying is that, they hope that we can be in more places so they can support the cause. So I think it's for about a year, we were just managing it on our own, just the two of us. Everything from procurement to cleaning up the vegetables to supplying to our customers, even managing the shop, we were doing it on our own. Social media, everything. So I would say personally, I feel that it's up to you as an individual whether you want to do it or not. So, there's a saying, if there's a will, there's a way. So if you really have the will to do it, even if you don't know how to do it, you will go and learn how to do it, right? You will go and research. You will find out, watch as much videos as you can, read as much as you can, test out the whole process and get your hands-on learning. You have to do it on your own to learn. You can, I'm from a business background. I studied finance accounting and I tried to do my own accounting for the business. But when I started to do, I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? I totally forgot what I learned in the university because we've not practiced it for so long. Learning really comes through practice. And you can read as much as you can as well, but you won't know until you're doing it yourself.
During MCO, we really struggle a bit because we the short of manpower, the order too much, too many, overwhelming, and then we were really working more than 8 hours a day during MCO.
Almost 12 hours.
Yeah. Then after that, our team expanded. We have a new guy come in to help us with warehouse and operation part.
Which an intern.
Yes, intern, and then he helps us with some social media things and set up the website. So right now, I think we can, with the bigger team, we can really look into expanding into other areas as well. We have another new intern, a nutritionist. I think the skill that you need to have to be an entrepreneur, the first one I think for myself is discipline, because there's no certain working hour or you can do that much or you can do that less. You have to be really disciplined to see how dedicated you are in this business. The second one I think is the work-life balance, because you tend to overwork yourself. You work 24 hours, you're too hardworking, you don't have time for yourself, you have a family. I think this won't be good for long run. For you to be succeed in this line, you really have to have a work-life balance to see when you focus on your work, your family and yourself.
I feel the skill that you need to have is resourcefulness, because when you're starting your own business, you don't really have a lot of people you can rely on. You just have to do it yourself. So it's not like you can ask someone, hey, if you want to search this out for me, go and pick this out for me. Everything you have to do it yourself. And as a person, you're not, obviously you can't be good in everything, right? But I feel one of the skills, if you know how to get it done, who can get it done, I think that will help you a lot in running a business. So being able to use the internet, contacts, your network, and just researching on where you can find all this resource, I think that's really important for a new business owner. Apart from that, it's not really a skill, but probably more of a quality. I think you need to be able to persevere and motivate yourself, because again, you are working really in silo or in a small, very, very, very small team, and the only thing that can keep you moving is yourself. So you need to be able to, grind it out, do the hard work. If you need to put in long hours, you have to. You need to carry the heavy stuff, you have to, because there's no one else who can help you, unless you have the funding behind to be able to support you and push, hire people to do the work. So when we started off, we decided to bootstrap, meaning we just come up from our own pocket. We try and get help from our family as well. When we started, we knew we didn't want to put all in, so we just put in a very small sum of money, and from there, we start to build the business, make sure we earn something, plow it back in. Honestly, we didn't take salary just up until recently, so we've been, putting everything back in to the company as much as we can, so that we do not need to take loans as well. But of course, recently we picked the interest of investors who are interested to put in money into the business. So we recently got one on board, which has helped us to start to hire people for the business and company. At the beginning, we didn't want to get external funding, mainly because we ourselves are not very sure of how well the business will do, and we also didn't want to take the money just for the sake of taking it. We feel like very responsible and liable for any money that we take in. And so before we choose to bring anyone on board, we have to be sure that we can be able to deliver what we promise. So right now, we are still in a very, very small, tight budget. We are more than happy now to receive funding because we are very clear of where we want to go next. Yeah. So we are different in the sense that number one, we have our own physical shop. I believe the other players out there, they do not have a physical shop. They're probably more on tech-based or online. Secondly, we also choose to focus a lot more on fresh produce right now and not really cooked food or hot meals that are already cooked and needs to be rescued. We are looking at things that people can bring home and cook it themselves, whether it's food or products. Yeah. So right now that's the two things that we are differentiating ourselves with. So we do not limit our customers. So we're not just focusing on one group. We are open to anyone, the public in general, who just wants to support this initiative or who would like to have lower price vegetables. In that sense, right? So because of that, we have worked with anyone from the lower income to right up to the higher income group, and it can be local or non-local. And so far we've reached to everyone that we could. But of course, we have in terms of our projects, we do try to focus on the lower income group and people who are not able to earn a living. We do support that in our other sections of our business. But in terms of our customers, it can be anyone here.
Yeah, even the kakak cleaner, But physical walk-in client is more to like lower income group, like the kakak who works in the kopitiam Like our online client is more like those who can really afford to pay more. There's one time that there's a expat teacher at Smith, and then he really loved our idea. Then he helped to promote to other teachers at the school. So like one time we delivered to Sri Kembangan, it's like 20 over bags just for the school teacher. These are people who support us for a meaningful reason. They can afford, they can buy from big village grocer, but they choose to buy from us because of this reason.
So when we started up with the shop, basically we just anyone who is working in the area, they can come. So we did not really promote it in any way. But in terms of our social media, right now obviously social media is more of the upper middle class. Just do what we can, just share our work, our vision. We will just share what we have, and I guess it's people just share out the message. And especially when they feel compelled to a certain post, they will really just share it out. I think that really helps when people are doing that to spread the awareness of what we're doing. We do not really focus a lot on advertisements. We try and reduce that as much as we can. We do not have sponsored ads right now as well. So we are just organic reach that we can. I think MCO really helped because that's when everyone needed vegetables. Yeah, so people just shared it, with their friends. But again, with the MCO, we had our own set of issues as well because they do not understand our vision and mission, right? So there are a lot of inquiries that we had to reply to and help them to understand what we do during that short time. 1 week, okay.
I wake up 9 o'clock, go home until 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I think the myth about being an entrepreneur, like one myth is that it's a very fun job. It's like, wow, I get to do my own thing, I get to start my own shop, I get to run my own business, all the glam, I think people see the front of it. At the back is a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, like what Shirley was talking about. It's very hard to find work-life balance when you're an entrepreneur. Unlike a normal job, you can switch off your brains at after 6 p.m. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, your mind is constantly working non-stop, and it's very hard because you have to. If you stop work, right, there's no business at all. There's no one's going to run the business for you. I think the myth would be people think it's a very easy, fun thing to do. Obviously, it will get fun at one point, but the beginning stage is always about hard work.
And I think people think that is money making. Like can make more than normal, working class people, but. Like we just talked about it, the other day saying that she said that it's so hard to, it's so stressful that right now we have to pay for this guy and this guy. I was out because our team is expanding. We have to scratch our head to earn more income to support everyone on the team. I'm like, yeah, actually it's not that fun, but it's a really good challenge for us to take on right now.
You're not just being your own boss, you're being a boss to other people. And that includes making sure you pay them because I think finances is always an important and painful part of the business, and cash flow as well. So if you cannot afford to pay, then it's really nights that you cannot sleep, right? And you're not just thinking about next month, right? You have to think about 3 months, 6 months down the line. Imagine the sleepless nights they will go through. Okay, one thing that probably would be a joy in entrepreneurship is, I think, when you reflect back on what you've done and what you've accomplished, it is something that you will feel like, wow, I've done this. Even though it's a small thing, it helps a lot when you talk to your friends, because they will kind of like give you the perspective of what you're doing. So sometimes when I have dinner with my friends, they are working in their own company. I mean, not their companies, but they're working for people in the corporate world. And they will also tell me what they're going through and how they wish they have their own business and being an entrepreneur. And on the other hand, I'm telling them, hey, it's not easy. It's like, are you sure? It's like, I would rather take your job, because then I can know I have a secured income every month and I have a fixed time to work and not forever on my computer. So then they would advise me and say, you're doing a good job, you're doing this, you're saving what you can and you're helping people. So they kind of help me remember the reason I'm doing and actually what I've accomplished so far. So I think if you take the time to reflect on all this, then you will start to feel joy in the work that you do. And also, when you don't put so much pressure on yourself, expectations on yourself, then I feel that's when you can slowly enjoy the work that you're doing as an entrepreneur.
To me, it's actually never in my dream that I want to become an entrepreneur. Seriously. Because of this business, I learned to become one of it. And I don't say I learned to enjoy it, have fun along the way, because she doesn't give me that much of stress, because she will shoulder almost 90%. She will filter the job before she passes to me, because she knows that I can only take on that much. So it's still a learning process for me. I hope that I provide a good support to you as well.
Yeah, I think also being able to do something fun in your business because it's really up to you, right? It's your business. You have the opportunity to steer the business your way. So that's why when we start to enter into more food production, I think that's kind of enjoying for me, because I like cooking, and when I cook, then I feel happiness, I feel joy. So I try and make sure that I do in my, in the week that I work, so that I can feel some kind of happiness. So what I don't really like about entrepreneurship is you're not able to turn off. I think that's the hardest. Your brain, you can't turn off. So having to think about your next steps and for what happens next few months, next 6 months, the strategy that you're going to take, the funds that are going to come in. So these are all things that you have to continuously think, and not being able to be in that space to think through all this. I think that's a very difficult part of being an entrepreneur.
I see her struggle, I feel for her, but it's actually, the support that I can give right now is so limited, but I hope that, I can grow faster so that, can help her with more other things. So
I believe it's the cause that will continuously keep you motivated. If you think back about why you're doing this and how much you have helped and contributed, and you think back, if this didn't happen, then all this would have gone to waste, all the food would have gone to waste. Then you realize that, okay, what you're doing is important. And then, of course, meeting the people who are receiving them, who are benefiting, that's definitely something that will continue to motivate us every day. Because in the end, why we do this is also to support the needy as much as we can. So if we can help them earn an income, we can help them to improve their life, that will help push us to do what we do. Being able to support the lower income community with either job empowerment programs or providing them an extra income, especially during MCO, and seeing them appreciate that, we've got a message from one of the person that helped us to deliver vegetables during MCO. It's so thankful for you, for thinking about us during this time to see how we can earn extra income because he was a taxi driver. So he couldn't earn money, right? Because nobody was traveling. So we got him to deliver our vegetables. I feel like just this kind of life-changing moments for certain people, it's our achievement that we are proud of.
It's not that kind of number achievement, it's the joy that people, when you talk to people, you know, the joy that we give them.
During MCO, actually our orders spiked up because, like I said, there was not enough vegetables in the market and people couldn't travel. So we focused a lot more on deliveries. Yeah, so that was great. But the challenge that we had is because we couldn't hire extra people as well. It was really on maybe 3 or 4 of us trying to fulfill orders that were 3 times our normal. We had to do what we can. We had to be very physically involved, carrying really heavy baskets and doing deliveries ourselves, or even getting as many drivers we can to deliver. So end to end, it was a challenging moment because we had to do everything from inquiries to answering people, because people were so desperate for vegetables and they wanted answers immediately. So when we couldn't provide them because we were busy packing ourselves, they got frustrated. So I think, how do we address the customer service issues that time? That was our main challenge.
After I think first month, then we stationed a person just to answer inquiry from customers just right in front of the phone, just to answer, is that bad?
Yeah, because we also need to educate the customers. As mentioned, a lot of them didn't know our mission. They just thought that we were vegetable providers. So when they got vegetables that didn't look as fresh, then they will start to compare with others and they'll say, hey, why your vegetables look like not fresh at all and things like this. And then we have to tell them, no, this is our mission, our vision. And at that time our website was not ready, so we couldn't drive them to the website. So it's a lot of explanation, and we decided that, okay, before someone orders, let's make sure they read our FAQ and understand our mission, and before they choose to order. But on the other hand, there were a lot of people who were like, wow, never heard of this, and I'm so glad I found this. I think that was a great opportunity for us to reach more people. Okay, so for myself, I'm a risk-averse person. I would really calculate the risk that I'll be taking. Even so, I would still feel like very reluctant, very careful. But then I also have a part of me which says that, okay, just do it. Like, if I know it's within the scope that I can handle, just go for it and try it out. So I wouldn't be totally numb or crippled by the fact that there's risk. It's just that, once I get into it, then I will need to continuously push myself to go through it.
Same.
So that's why in how we run our business, we make sure that we are very careful, like I said, in terms of funding and all. We will choose to do. We only put in what we can lose and things like that.
I think because of you, I know the risk is already calculated. I don't even think that much.
Yeah, if not, it will all be in deep trouble. When you take too much risk and not being able to come out, right, it's very difficult. So because we are still a startup and we're still very in our infant stage, we're still ideating. We are trying to iterate what we are doing to get to the best options that we can do for our business. So it's hard to say what we can do in the next 5 years. Even the next 1 year, right, we are still going to be changing so much. And I believe being a company, we have to be agile and learn and even see the environment that is within us. How do we work around it? Who knew MCO would happen? And that really affected everyone, right? Every business was affected. Then how then can we transform? How then can we adjust to the environment, and then based on what our strengths are? So we are always constantly learning. It can be really going to the expanding to more outlets. It could be focusing on more products. It could be more on deliveries. It could be working more with the low income and producing products. So we are not fixed in terms of what we want to do, but we're always ready to explore and see what are the opportunities that come, and if it suits us, we will just go for it.
I mean, it depends on what they want, right? Yeah, but I think Malaysia need more, for those who really wanted to go down this road, they really need more support, because here is not really encouraging, you see. I mean, everything. If they really decided to go down this road, they have to really physically and mentally prepare.
For myself, depends on what you mean by young entrepreneur. If you are just a graduate, I would not recommend that you just go into starting your own business, because I believe that it's very important to learn, build your foundation and learn from others. That's where we built our foundation when we worked in an MNC when we first graduated. I believe that 2 years it really taught me a lot on what are the best practices in the industry, how do we maintain high quality standards, how do we be disciplined, how do we work in teams, how do we even project manage. All these skills is very hard to learn on your own in a business. You can learn, but you are not learning from the best. So I always feel that you must go into, if you can, a big company, an MNC that can teach you all this and learn from experienced people. And from there, you also know and get ideas of what you can do next. So not only big companies, if you can also work in a small company, which was my second job, I feel like you will learn more, because then you're pushed to not be specialized, but to get involved in every part of the company and just, push yourself. Then from then on, when you kind of get an idea of what you want to do and the kind of life you want to live, then only you choose to become an entrepreneur. A piece of advice would be, you have to persevere. I feel maybe the first few years will be your hardest and your toughest, which you may feel like you want to give up. But I know, like, speaking to many seasoned entrepreneurs out there, or successful business started by entrepreneurs, I think it really works after like 3 or 4 years. That's when you really start to see results, and then only you can start to enjoy what you're doing. So in the first few years, or maybe the first 1 year, that will be the toughest. Surround yourself with people who can encourage you. What I do is I listen a lot to like podcasts of like entrepreneurship, and then you realize that other people are like struggling, are going through the same problems as you go. You're not alone. And when you hear about the struggles they go through, and then the success that they had after that, I feel that is very encouraging. And watch a lot of Shark Tank if you can. I think that really helps in terms of strategizing for your business and knowing what your business can go through. It really pushes you and gives you the motivation.